Good morning, everyone. Oh, just as a motorbike goes past. Hope we are all well. It is the business show of myself, Callum, and you are watching Quack TV, because why watch crap TV? Well, you can watch Quack TV with myself. And if you are watching live, please jump in the comments, say good morning to me. And if you are watching on replay, please put hashtag replay. Because I always say, I like to know who stalks me. And remember, you can catch every replay on YouTube, especially seasons 1 and 2 of this show, on the YouTube channel, which should be in the link above or below somewhere. And it's going to be a good one today. This person's been on the show a few times, so I'm looking forward to them. They've also been my backup. When people are cancelled last minute, this person's been like, I'm awake. I'll come on. I could talk about random shit to do with hydraulics. She's like, I'll come on the show. I don't think we've ever talked about hydraulics. I don't know where that came from. But yeah, no, so like I said, if you're watching live, please jump in the comments. We are on my Facebook page, my Facebook group, Quack Academy, and also my LinkedIn profile. So wherever you are, please jump in. Please say hello. It's going to be a good morning. And today we're going to be talking about networking. I'm going to be bringing in Chelsey going to be bringing Chelsey on very, very shortly. But this morning we are talking about networking. And networking is a key aspect in my business. You know, it's 95% of my marketing. And for the Chelsey that I'm bringing on, it is also as well. I know there's a lot of people that are going to be tuning in and watching that. It's also going to be for them. But we're also going to be talking about a lovely charity event, what Rises is actually sponsoring. We'll talk about that towards the end of the show. So make sure you tune in for it. Oh, we've got good morning, Claire Napper. Of course you're watching, my love. From Sparkly Gift Boutique, make this fabulous thing right here. Fabulous lady. Tracy Kimberg. Good morning. Hope you've had your coffee. Well, trust me, Chelsea's like me, Tracy. So she don't, even though she's glugging her coffee backstage from what I can see, she's literally like this backstage, chugging it. Oh, I love it. But no, so it's going to be a really, really good one this morning. And why do I want to get Chelsey on the show? You know, other than being a very good friend of mine, client, so on and so on, networking, like I said, is so important. And I actually don't know if anyone saw this, but Stephen Bartlett, the newest dragon on Dragon's Den, is one of my top 3 influencers, has been for many, many years. I was just reading part of his book this morning. Actually did a post saying that networking doesn't work. And it's the first time I have ever disagreed with him, which isn't a bad thing. And he did put, he did say, I want people to disagree with me, have your own opinions. He said, but he doesn't believe networking works. And the reason for that, he said, there's better marketing strategies than going to a room and talking about yourself and giving business cards out. And don't get me wrong, I see his point, but then I commented on his post on LinkedIn saying, that's great, but what you don't realize is that you network every day on Dragon's Den with the dragons, with the people you're seeing on Nationwide TV, on your podcast is networking, meeting the people that come on that. Said, and actually, you say that your predominant part of marketing was social media, so it should be when you ran a £300 million social media marketing agency. I'd expect social media to be your predominant form of marketing. Just saying. Because if it wasn't, proof wouldn't be in the pudding. So that's why I wanted to also get Chelsey on today. And we'll also be talking about a fabulous event, not just Come Together for Cam, but that I'm going to be doing on Quack TV beginning of March. So it's going to be a really good one. Paul Newton. Good morning, sir. The man who can steal your shit, people. The man who can steal your shit. I've been on Paul's podcast, Newton's Nuggets. Fabulous podcast. Paul, if you are still watching, please drop the link in. Please go listen and or watch Newton's Nuggets. It's really, really cool. Anyway, on that note, I've waffled on quite a bit now. And I'm probably going to waffle on for a lot longer with the person I'm about to bring on. This morning, we've got the fabulous Chelsey White from Rises Networking. Me and Chelsey being friends with each other for 14, 15 months. It's been 14, 15 months. It's been a long time knowing each other, and it's been absolutely amazing. So without further ado, morning, love.
Hello. Good morning.
Did you like my build up there? It's like
I'm a little bit chirpier now. I've had my coffee.
You had it. You was literally like this.
Eloquently put.
Yeah, it's chugging it, absolutely chugging your coffee. Morning, dear. Bloody hell, I can tell you're popular. I've got a few viewers on the show this morning, love.
Good. Because I'm loved.
Because you've got something to say. Love it. Chelsey, before we crack on, my love, just tell us who you are and what you do. Because last time you was on the show, you were something different.
Yes. So, hi, everyone. I'm Chelsey White, and I am the co-founder of Rises Networking.
What is it? Go on, tell us.
What is right? Well, Rises is a business network, mainly predominantly online for now. And And basically, it was me and Becca coming together and wanting to get people talking again. So we always have said, we are the network that is putting the conversation back into online business networking. So no more mute buttons.
Yeah, that's your biggest thing, isn't it? No more mute buttons. Unless you've got a dog barking in the background or someone drilling something, keep off mute. Let's have that banter. Let's have that conversation. Like, you know, I run a meeting in Rises, and it is all about that. It's all that, you know, that personality, that conversation, you know, that social aspect. And it is really amazing. Because we was talking about this when you was originally talking about Rises, and another lady from another network who I've introduced to, Felicity from Talk Networking.
Yeah.
She was talking about how we've lost that magic of them conversations at the end of a meeting when you swigging that last bit of cold coffee, taking that last bite of the biscuit that you stole off the thing. And we don't have that. That's when someone goes, "Oh, why are you here? Can I just have a quick chat with you?" And that's the bit we've lost, isn't it? That's the bit you want to try. One of the aspects that you want to get back.
It's just all the chatter in between. You know, no one sits in silence at a face-to-face while someone else is talking. No one does. You probably should listen. But the fact is, not everyone is going to listen to everybody. Not everyone is going to listen to every second of someone's pitch or multiple people's pitches. But in the background, you're always going to have people that are sat next to each other at a table, finishing off their conversation, or you're going to have people talking across the table while someone is doing their foresight or whichever pitch. I will disclaim that I say foresight, not that we have them, only because of my experience in for networking, which is good, and I highly recommend in case anyone is doubting that.
I love that. So I was just actually going to start, you know, where did Risers come from? And I think it was a mixture of things, wasn't it?
So I spent a good 12 to 14 months in for networking, and it is brilliant, and it boosted me so much, and it
been there,
literally, I cannot give them enough credit for where I'm at now. I can't. That's a fact. The one thing that we did notice, and this is myself and Becca, is that most of the business was happening after a meeting, when it opened up the room to open networking, when it's in the groups, when people are commenting on each other's posts and things like that. So basically we said, well, you know, we'll move the bit where the business is getting done into the meeting. That's what we did. We completely reshuffled. We tried to give people as many new connections as possible, which I believe we have. I hope that my members will tell me that I've given them as many new connections as possible.
Well, I've got a new client from it. Like,
there you go. And then it was just to get the chatter going again. Being, you know, staying behind after a meeting, and this is in any network. Staying behind after a meeting is great, but not everyone has that amount of time available. If someone is extremely busy, then they set aside 90 minutes or 2 hours or an hour for their meeting, because that's the time of the meeting. And then you're suddenly missing out on all the business afterwards because you're having to go back and, you know, crack on with your work that day. Or no one can always, you can't always afford to give extra time. And it is a shame, but we kind of shaved that extra time off and put it in the meeting instead, which is kind of how Rises came about and how it was created.
Yeah, and you know what, you're completely right. So considering I don't drive, pre-COVID, I did face-to-face network, and I've networked for like 4.5 years. By the way, good morning, Rob Lee. I can see your name this morning, sir. I don't know what you've done, but I couldn't see his name on Tuesday. He's joining Rises on the off-peak membership, which we will talk about.
We'll touch on that.
But it's you're right. And, you know, when I used to go to face-to-face networking, a 1.5 hour meeting, which predominantly a lot of networks were. They were, you know, face-to-face pre-COVID. A lot of them were normally about an hour and a half, which sometimes can be too long. Do you want to point that out? You know, that's for everyone. It can be, but actually it depends what elements are making it too long and what you're not getting from it. And once again, that social aspect, if that's tied into the hour and a half, it's worth it because you're getting it. And what happened is when we used to go to these face-to-face networking meetings, it might be an hour and a half, but you book 4 hours out of your day to go to it. Anyone can argue that point with me, right? You can argue that point. You would book 3-4 hours out of your day to go to that meeting. And even if you did, and then if you didn't book that 3-4 hours out, then you complain that, oh God, it's taken up too much time. Yeah, because you're not planning for it. But actually, what ties within 3 and 4 hours is them people at the end that are trying to grab you.
Yeah.
And then the people that did shit were the ones that got, I'm really sorry, I can't stay, I've got to go. And that's what he's saying, hanging about after the end of them. But on Zoom, because we don't have to go in it, we can work in the background, we can leave all the things on 10 to 1. Basically, you switch it to a bit more of a co-working space with breakout rooms where people can go in if they want to have a one-to-one. You've got all these extra aspects that you can do online at no detriment to your time. And actually, you can utilize it more and better. Because me and you have both done business in, the aftermath of meetings or, looking at meetings. Or even during the day when yourself or Becca, which does time arises, you'll be sat on a Zoom. Everyone's welcome. If you want to jump in the Zoom, business is done. It is done there. And it is so, so important. Sorry, I know I waffled on a bit there. But
I think a lot of people are quite shocked to find out that, Claire Napper, Becca, myself, we're on Zoom every day. And we are. And you ask my partner and he's like, you're on Zoom too much, blah, blah, blah. What being on Zoom with those guys is like, it's like coming into an office.
Yeah.
You get to your office in the morning. Get into my office in the morning is ringing the girls. And we have a little catch up about what happened last night. We talk about what's on the telly, same as you would in an office.
What do you do around the water cooler, around the coffee machine normally? Yeah.
Sometimes we just sit there in silence for the next hour because, they're there if we've got a question. And we bounce ideas off each other. We motivate each other. The amount of times that one of us has gone, I could really just stop today. And one of them's gone, no, carry on. You can get it done. And it's usually Claire that's like, no, come on, guys. You can do this.
You can do it. Come on, crack on. You can get on with it. So, obviously, we talked about the social aspect of Rises. And obviously, I also know because I worked with you in the early days. And obviously, I'm part of Rises now. I run one of the meetings. And one of the big things you've wanted to do, and I'm trying to think how to word this, which a lot of people don't do, is you've listened to the members.
Yeah,
you've and I don't just mean that for all network leaders. I don't mean that people don't take feedback. I mean you have literally, because you are a startup network, you have listened to the members and what they want, and a lot of that with what Rob Lee dropped in the chat. Bear with me, Paul knew I've been told. Tad annoying. Paul, you're never annoying, love. You are a treat.
Never.
And to be fair, being locked in a physical room with you would scare me because I'd be worried what you'd steal. So it's you've listened to them, and one of them, like Rob mentioned, is the memberships.
Yeah.
And you teased a few of these on your Facebook page the other day. Teased, keyword. Do you want to elaborate a bit more on what you had, what you have, and what you're bringing in?
Yeah, so they'll be going live on the website today anyway. So I'm happy to mention it. Basically, we got a lot of feedback, and at the moment we are a new network. We don't have meetings on at every hour of every day because we have to bear in mind that Becca and I are a small team. We're slowly growing our Rises team members, but also, we want to grow our network very authentically, and we don't just want to invite everyone to be on a team with us. We don't want to just invite, we need people to have a certain level of commitment, maybe to us, maybe a certain loyalty, maybe certain ethics, certain morals, the way they run their meetings and all sorts that comes into it. So for now, we are a small network with a small amount of meetings. The feedback that we got from a lot of people that attended, and I think in the last 2 months, we've had about 120 visitors in our meetings. So we've asked a lot of people, we've sent them feedback forms and all sorts. And the number one point that came back to us is, I really love this, but I can only network in the evenings. And therefore the price just isn't quite worth it for me. And that's fair enough.
I was going to say that's very brutally honest as well for you to say that now. That's very brutally honest.
At that time, we had one evening networking meeting plus one evening meeting a month that was free to everyone. So that would never be included in your membership. But it meant that there was roughly 4 meetings a month for our membership fee, which was not really a lot different to paying the pay-as-you-go price. So we could understand, we've taken it on board. And therefore we've kind of twisted it, and we looked at how gyms and trains and all those kinds of people. So we did an off-peak price. So that's one of the memberships that we've got launching. Well, in fact, it's launched. It's on the website now. an off-peak price, which allows you to network at any of our social events, any of our evening events, and get involved. But obviously at a cheaper rate, because you can't come to any of the daytime meetings where people would probably more traditionally network. So people that have a 9-to-5 day, some people are very strict on it. They would come and network during the day, during their working hours. That's when they put their effort into their marketing. And then there's some people that don't have time to do that, and they want to network in the evening around their work schedule, or maybe they just want some company in the evening. Who knows? No judgments here, because I'm the same. So that's why we launched Off Peak, and then we've got 2 other memberships that are launching as well. Again, this has all come from feedback. We've had a lot of people ask us about speed networking, a lot of people. And
to jump in on that, a Riser's networking anywhere and a standard meeting format, you get 5 1-to-1s, don't you? You know, there's a point to why people have asked for a speed networking aspect to it, because there's a mini aspect of it already in a standard meeting.
We've always tried to give people as many connections as possible. And someone said, people often come out of our meetings and they're like, oh, you should really do speed networking. And I can't take credit for the suggestion there. It is because Becca is so bloody good at those breakout rooms. She is so quick. No one gets double ups. She is spot on. I can't fault her at all. So she's definitely the reason that they've asked for this. So, but to me, speed networking can be a bit brutal. Mm-hmm. Go into a meeting for an hour or an hour and a half and having, back-to-back 3-minute or 4-minute conversations. After an hour or an hour and a half, I would be exhausted. And I'd probably have to go off and recover for another hour before I could throw myself back into work. I need to compute. I need to sort through all of those connections. So we decided to shrink it down and make it massively speed. So you'll still have 3-minute one-to-ones. Instead of an hour, though, you'll have a half an hour slot. So speed networking will literally just be, I've got half an hour left of my lunch break. Why don't I hop on speed networking? And we've also gone 1 step further, and we're going to offer a guarantee, which I could regret. I really hope Becca's going to live up to her reputation. If you come to speed networking and you have the same 1-to-1 twice, you will get £5 off your next membership.
I like that guarantee. That's a good guarantee.
So you're guaranteed unique connections at every speed networking meeting, and you will never have double ups. I'm putting a lot of pressure on poor Becca.
And then there's another thing. There's another thing coming in as well, isn't there? And it's something me and you and the fabulous Cara would. Let's plug Cara as well. Cara is becoming part of Risers, which is awesome. There's something us 3 in particular have wanted for the last 2.5 years, at least 2.5 years. I hope you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So
we want to target young people. We want to get young people not only into networking but into business, and we want them to come into a place where they feel comfortable enough to promote themselves, to market themselves. But we also want them to come into a space where they feel understood by people that are their age. I won't mention any names, but I did look at setting a similar program up before, and it was very much run by people that were not in the age bracket that they were advertising to, and it showed, and that's why I think it never went ahead. So we're not marketing. There is honestly no age limit. So the way we're doing this, we're marketing this as a new to networking scheme. So anyone that is new to business, new to networking, that wants their foot in the door, that wants a safe space to come and do it around people that are also new, people that aren't going to judge, people that haven't got years of experience networking.
Even had bad experience networking. It's even that had bad experience.
And we've made it affordable.
Yeah.
Because that was something that's so important to people that are getting their foot in the door. I remember starting out, and there's no way I could have afforded spending.
That's what we like to see.
Thank you, Tracy.
Tracy, I will get in touch with you, my lovely. If not, Chelsey or Becca will. Keep an eye out in your inbox.
Thank you. The price point is a massive factor when you're starting out and you are brand new in business and you're a relatively young person with not a lot of cash flow behind you. And affordability is a major thing. And if you can't afford to market yourself, how do you go out and earn more money? So,
And sorry, I was just going to say, it's also a lot of people in business, younger people in particular, and I know this, I think you know this, I know a few other people will. You hear of networking, but there's a few points here. You don't really know what it is.
No.
You end up, the first time you go in, probably being poached, and there isn't an issue with this, I do want to point this out, to go to a BNI. You know, and then they end up thinking that's the only format of networking. You know, there's similar, but there's lots of format of networking. And Rises, with, you know, not putting words in your mouth, but we want to end up being a bit of a needle point, you know, a bit of a compass direction for people to come and just try networking. Like, look, you can go to professional, you can go to traditional, come and try a social aspect, you know, come and try something a little bit different, a little bit new. You know, and come and try that. And I know that because that's the way I'm promoting it to people as well.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to say BNI absolutely has its place in the networking world.
But it works. Let's point that out.
If you ask anyone, I am happy to sit, and maybe Rises won't be for you. And if the social aspect of networking isn't for you, then Rises probably isn't your place. But if you want a recommendation for another one, I will happily sit there and give you a list recommendations on where you should go and network. I was talking to someone just yesterday morning, telling them where they should be going to network.
Yeah.
So yeah, BNI does have its place, but you're right. And I think the most important, or the biggest USP, the biggest selling point for getting younger people into networking is we are a network run by someone in that age bracket.
Yeah. No, you're completely right.
Years old. My fellow team member is 26 years old. My co-founder is 32 years old. She will kill me for saying that on live.
But no, you're completely right. And do you know what? Like, just as coming towards the end of the live, it's you that ended up giving me the idea, because I'm big in networking. I'm in touch with a lot of networking leaders. Keywords there: networking leaders, not just founders. People that are leading the way in networking, uniquely, authentically, culturally, with values. You know, I know networking leaders that are tied to. Sorry, there's a motorbike going past. That tie in with all of this. And one of the things that we're going to do beginning of March, and this is, I've got to give like Chelsey credit. This was Chelsey's idea for me, because I did a coaches week last year, and she said to me this year, well, actually, I'm in with a few networks now, and I'm working with a lot of networks. She went, why don't you do a network leaders week? You know, and this was your idea. I can't take credit. So beginning of March, I'm going to be doing network leaders week, aren't I? And it's going to be there where, like we just said, you can meet the people that have different types of networking and what makes them different, and, you know, why they're an independent network, you know, their structure, their values, their culture, once again, and their price brackets. Once again, price when it comes to networking, price and value are very different. I do want to point that out. You know, price in the different types of network and different formats you can get will be really, really amazing. And then you can meet the different value, what you can get from each one, because you will get different value from each thing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's really, really important. One of the things that I want to finish on before we go is last year, I hate you so much. So last year we did a month-long event, which I also took part in, called Come Together for Calm.
Yeah.
Calm is a charity, if people don't know, called Campaign Against Living Miserably. We did a month-long event, and we raised around £6,000, I think, didn't we? Yeah, there was an event every day. To anyone that doesn't know what this is, there was an event every day. There was something going on every day. We had competitions, we had everything.
Yeah.
Chelsey and Becca thought, we'll do it again this year. We'll do it. Yeah, by the way, when I say, you know, like, oh, we're going to raise more money, you'd think, oh, so what, you're going to go to 10,000, 12? No. We're going to 50 grand this year, people. But in particular, why this is relevant is Rises is the main sponsor. Chelsey, do you just want to tell us briefly just a bit more about the event?
So, for those that don't know, last year we did the event. We did 30 separate individual events in order to raise money for Calm. It went swimmingly well. We did really well. Everything got done. We survived. I'm surprised that we did by the end of it. This year we've gone bigger. And most of this is Becca's idea, not mine. But we have gone bigger. We've gone for a £50,000 target. We've given ourselves a lot more months to get ourselves organised. We are in PR companies' inboxes daily at the moment, making sure that we've got people on board. We've got people from the charity on board that are going to be hopefully featuring in our live stream and interviewing me or Becca, one of the two, or both. And we've gone and done 62 events in the month of May. So we will have 2 events on every day, one serious, one social. So we'll have workshops running, obviously, in the main part of the business day, and then we'll have something more social, something more entertaining in the evening. But we've gone bigger, and it should be a brilliant month if we survive.
It will be a brilliant month. And also, to anyone watching this, I have a live replay on YouTube. Anyone that knows me personally knows of my right-hand man, who is another version of me, Brandon. We've even roped my friend Brandon into it, which that might not mean anything to some people, but we are a comical duo. And we've even been brought in, I brought Brandon in as well to, and he can't wait. He's really, really excited. He's really, really excited. So that's what I mean. This isn't just for businesses. This is for everyone.
We've got so much more support this year, and it might be because of the reputation last year. It could be. But yeah, no, this year we've got so much more support. We have got support from supermarkets up and down the country. We have got, like I said, there's only so much that I can say without Becca having a go at me. We're like I said, we've been in PR companies' inboxes and messages, and we've been sending out emails to get some ambassadors on board for Come Together for Calm, which will be amazing. So.
Well, congratulations on that note. Congratulations on launching Rises. I will officially say you had a very successful launch, with everything you've done. There's a long way to go, as there is in any business. And anyone watching this, if you do want to go along, if you do want to try it, slide into my DMs, slide into Chelsey's, slide into Becca Inez's. Go check out the website. And there is an online community aspect on the website as well. Go check it out. We can get you in there, and keep an eye out for Network Leaders Week, where Chelsey will be back on the show, but we'll talk about Rises in a very, very different way. Talk about Chelsey's background in marketing, and get Becca on as well. So keep an eye out for all that. But Chelsey, I'm going to kick you backstage, my love, and I'll speak to you in a minute. Thanks. Bye. Oh, how fabulous. I love Chelsey. Honestly, she's a very, very good friend of mine. Very good confidant is a good word. Oh, that was a good word for me, first thing in the morning. So, yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So just keep an eye out on the whole of Rises. Keep an eye on them and everything else in between. But that is the end of today's show. That's the end of this week's. Next week, you can catch the fabulous James Gale and Jackie Goddard on the show. I do, fabulous people, but in particular, Jackie Goddard, I am going to plug the fact that she's even worked with Gymshark. So she really does, know how to get her ducks in a row. Do want to point that out. It's going to be a fabulous week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, people. And as I say every time, if you can't be good, be careful. If you can't be careful, don't get caught.